What a great game that was to watch last week, because he put on a show in the wild card round with 5 touchdown passes. So if you ever want to see what a hot quarterback looks like, watch that tape. Let's see if that same hot quarterback shows up in this one.
And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Play action. Now it's Lance. He'll buy some time right. He'll get this one complete. That's A.J. Brown. And he'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. To throw, it's Lance. They'll roll him out right. This will be caught once again by Brown. And they're going to get this down inside the 20. That's a great example right there to remind everyone of what a weapon he can be as a mobile quarterback, Charles. Nice play to escape the pocket and get his offense into the red zone with a 1st down.
The defensive coach is losing their mind on that play, because they knew about his mobility coming in, and they preached all week long. If he gets outside the pocket, plays like that will continue to result.
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
That was an interesting look there, because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of them, and I think that discouraged him from taking off and made him try a pass downfield that fell incomplete.
And this will not be enough. On 3rd and 5, he only gets 3.
But forget knowing where the 1st down line was. This defense created their own line of scrimmage. They won every battle up front, and a lot of times that is one-on-one. And if you win your one-on-ones enough times, your defense is going to be pretty good. They have more people to the football and snuffed out the play.
They opt to go for it, and they get it. 1st and goal after a pickup of 5. Remember, that was 4th and a full 2 yards. There's a big difference between that and 4th and maybe 6 inches or a yard.
Yeah, you're exactly right, because when it's that 6 inches, you just fall forward and you pick it up, right? Just go quarterback sneak. But having to move bodies, that means you actually have to execute, because they know what you're going to do. How are you going to make the right...
And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Cameron Curl. And the Texans are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. CD, when he went to throw that, I'm not sure if he just didn't see where the defense was. Whatever the case, not the throw you're looking for on 1st and goal.
Not at all.
He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. Vita Vea, now 2 sacks for him already here in this 1st quarter of play. So after the sack, here's 2nd and 14. A 1st carry now for Chase Edmonds. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming. Here's Wilson. Going for Evans, but that pass is intercepted. William Jackson with a pick. And the Broncos are going to take possession of the football.
And I think this is a situation where quarterback coach on the sideline is going to talk to a signal caller and say, listen, it's 3rd and long, and it's still early in the game. Let's not force things here. If we don't feel good about it, let's just check something down and punt the football.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. Pretty effective run there, and now they can start to smell that end zone.
Pound the rock. Make sure you use your O-line to set the tone of dominance and physicality, and pound the rock.
And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. And perhaps now close to the first points of this divisional round game. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Denver. Leonard Fournette punching it in from a yard away. And the Broncos are on the board first here in this division round matchup. Tucker with the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. That almost looked too easy, and I think thanks goes to the offensive line for making it look easy.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one. I'm not sure how much everyone understands the preparations that go into a game for an offensive line, because there's a reason that running backs and quarterbacks give them big gifts at the end of a season after a big year. The consistency and the continuity it takes to know each other and execute their blocks is pretty impressive.
On first down, they'll start out with Singletary. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard. The last run got 9. That leaves him with second and a yard. Down he goes. Vita Vea. What a start to this ball game. Still in the first quarter, and he now has 3 sacks, on pace for double digits. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. On third down, Wilson. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Well, based on what we've seen so far, I don't think you can even... Call this an off day anymore, partner, because this group we're watching, they are totally out of rhythm, trying to get their game plan up and running. That 0 on the scoreboard is glaring down at them with every incompletion.
A 40-yard punt, 5 yards on the return, and they will take over first and 10. And Denver getting set to take the field. Things progressing to plan so far. Their defense has been solid, and they've got themselves a 7-0 lead after the touchdown the last time they had the ball.
And this is no time to even think about, hey, are we going to milk the clock? Hey, are we just going to do ball control? This is the NFL. 7-0 leads, they don't last very long unless you continue to push the envelope on offense.
Tackle is made by Cameron Jordan. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5.
16's coming, check right, check right. Here we go, D. Here I come again. Here I come again. Here I come again.
Throwing now is Lance. Escaping the pressure right. That'll be taken in by Demir Bird. And he'll be taken down at about the 22-yard line.
I don't think anyone would argue that having that extra week definitely helps come playoff time. And those were some fresh legs right there. That extra practice time and planning, certainly in evidence.
Fournette, a first down carry. And he'll manage to pick up about 4 at 2nd down.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
Now a 2nd down and 6. Again, it's Fournette. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. The time called here because a member of the Texans is in some discomfort. We'll step aside and get a report when we come back to Denver. Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. Inside handoff now to Fournette. And here he'll get it down to the 7. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
And they fake the handoff. Now Lance sliding out of the pocket. He'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a 3rd down situation. coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. They'll try and run for it with Fournette. And Fournette trying to power his way forward, but I don't think he got there. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Lance to throw for it on 4th down. And Brown's got it. Touchdown, Broncos. 4 yards on the touchdown grab. And the Broncos' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points. Tucker able to connect on the extra point. And it's now 14-0. So that drive goes 8 plays. And it's capped off by an A.J. Brown touchdown. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And to no one's surprise here in Denver, that'll carry through the back of the end zone for a touchback. And the football going back over now to the Houston Texans. They trail early on the road in the playoffs. Not a great combination as they've got it 1st and 10. from the shotgun. Wilson. He'll get this out wide to Singletary. He's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8. Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. They'll give this to Singletary running right. They find some open field here. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. 25 yards the pickup there, and also a first down.
Sometimes those lines that are drawn on a grease board or in a playbook, they come to life out on the field, don't they? And we just saw that on that outside handoff to the right.
That right tackle, he gets excited for that call, doesn't he?
He does, because he just wants to dominate his guy and say, listen, I was the point of attack. I took care of business. That's why you're able to get downfield and add all those yards to your total.
Yeah, really nice gain there.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
On 2nd down, this is Edmonds. And he'll be down close to the first down marker as he gets this to the Broncos 32. It's a 6-yard run, leaves him with about a foot or so here still to go to hit the marker with 3rd down coming up. Second quarter action, 2 minutes to go on divisional round weekend. We remind you, as we've done all year, that coming up at halftime, we will visit with Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll let you know what's going on here on a very eventful divisional round weekend. Wilson now to throw on 3rd down. And the Broncos get there and take him down. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. So on 4th down, kicking it away here, Michael Pilardi. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. Leonard Fournette making his way back out there, and he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the second quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. On first down, Lance. It's his running back, Melvin Gordon. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it can turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
From the 25 on second down, Lance. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down.
When you run in the slant, timing is everything. And against that man coverage, there was no space available. An incompletion as a result.
Working from the gun, Lance. Flush to his right. He's got a man, complete. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. A big one there on third down. They hit for 30 yards. And that seemed to me to be all about trusting your receiver.
No doubt about it, because when he put that ball in the air, I will guarantee you everyone who's watching this game right now thought that's up for grabs. But this is a lot of practice time. As you mentioned, a ton of trust, and he knows how good his guy is. So to him, it wasn't up for grabs. To him, it was a big play waiting to happen.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. A final shot before half for Lance. Rolling to his right. And he rifles one incomplete. So it's on to halftime in this AFC divisional round. A look around the NFL. We'll have to wait for postgame because we are moving right through halftime and on to the third quarter. It's AFC divisional round. The Bronco offense ready to begin this third quarter play. And they're in the position they expected to be in. They've got the lead, home crowd behind them, and they're looking toward making that next step in these playoffs.
And I think a key for them is to put together some good, long, extended drives. Work the run in a little more with that big offensive line. I'm not saying get away from throwing the football. That's still working. But if they run it more effectively, they may get even bigger plays in the passing game.
On 1st and 10, here's Lance. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Javon Hargrave, the D tackle, getting the sack. I'm sure a lot of time was spent in the locker room, Charles, and talking with his defense about setting a tone here in the third quarter when you're down on the scoreboard. A sack like that, maybe that can get them going.
Yeah, you have to believe exactly what you just said, that they got together and said, let's be some change agents here. Let's go ahead and turn things around. Let's be the force that gets us going here in the second half and puts us in a position to find a way to win the game.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Lance. The connection here with Nelson Aguilar. Down the right sideline. Nelson Aguilar. A big play there on the catch and run. 77 yards. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. Fournette is into the end zone for a Bronco touchdown. Well, that was a quick drive. The passing game set it up, and then the running game finishes it off.
And how about how few plays it was to get it done, but they threw it downfield and then pounded it into the end zone. And as a former defender, I can tell you, it hurts just a little bit more when they run it into the end zone instead of throwing it.
So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. Certainly not what they wanted there, so the football by rule comes out to the 40. So now the possession will begin at the 35 after the errant kickoff.
Well, that's certainly one way to avoid a dangerous kick returner, I suppose, but you are giving up extra yardage, that's for sure. Because if you put it out of the end zone, they start at the 25. So at a minimum, you're giving up 10 yards to the offense.
And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. They go right back to Singletary. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 4 coming up.
I see a shake of the head as he gets up, and you've got to imagine he's thinking, guys, you got to help me out. He's hoping his team can read his thoughts because he definitely needs some assistance.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. And he's got a man. It's the tight end Howard, complete. And he is going to have a Texans first down as they're able to get the 3rd down. Version.
Gain of 19 yards. Bill Texans.
Watch the twist. Watch the twist.
They'll run out of the gun with Singletary. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
You've got to figure the further they fall behind, the more you think that they'll get away from the run. They're trying to stick with it, but the results, they just aren't there.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. Now a toss to Singletary running to the left. And he's got room. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. 63 yards rushing for him now on just 6 carries to this point.
That's how you get right up off of the mat, because on the last play, they stoned him in the backfield and dropped him for a loss. But he's the type of guy that scared me a little bit because he's not daunted. Just got right back up, showed some confidence, and picked up a first down with his very next run.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Wilson. And he's wrapped up, taken down, back at the 25. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
This defense, they just continue to feast. 5 sacks now as a unit. It's been quite an afternoon getting to the quarterback.
And we're seeing it come from a variety of places as well. Sometimes just the guys up front getting to him. Other times you add extra guys rushing the quarterback, twists and stunts. It's been a variety, and they've had no way of blocking them.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Wilson. That's caught by Howard. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down. A long way to go here on 3rd down for the 8th play of the drive. Now it's Wilson.
And that incomplete, nearly intercepted. And remember, he had his hands on one earlier, had one pick. It could have been his second, but instead it's 4th down.
The kick by Sanders is good. And that will move the deficit from 20 down to 17.
So the 3 points there, and CD, that helps him inch a bit closer.
Yeah, partner, when you're losing, any points you see go on the board in your favor, you're happy to take them.
Fielded just outside the goal line. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. Denver's offense now set to go. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways, because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can.
Lance now on 1st down.
He'll get this into the hands of Bird. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 14 yards that time for number 14.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
Throwing on 1st down is Lance.
Flushed out right. He's got a man, complete. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. It's a gain of 35.
In our pregame meeting, all they talked about was keeping him hemmed in and wanting him to make his throws from the pocket, because they knew he was pretty dangerous if he got outside, and he just showed it right there. Pretty good arm, too.
So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Here's a give up the middle. It's Gordon.
And a strong run there as he'll maneuver his way down inside the 15.
This game not quite as good as the last, but still over 40 yards between the two.
Would you say this offense is locked in right now?
They're having no trouble on this drive. What is it, 3 plays, 3 first downs?
Yeah, you talk about on the march. They keep this up, they'll get to that end zone real fast.
Under a minute to go in this third quarter as they come up 1st and 10.
Oh, yeah, I'm coming. Oh, yeah, I'm coming. Right there. 54. Right there. Right there. 54 Mike. Guys, game situation. Let's go.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. He'll buy some time right. Touchdown, Broncos. A.J. Brown with his second touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Broncos continue to show why it pays to play at home in the postseason as they add on to their lead.
And right now, Charles, I think you'd have to say their class starting to show through.
Yeah, they were disappointed not to get the #1 seed in the playoffs, but the reality is these guys can play anywhere. It doesn't matter for them.
And if they can indeed hold on to this lead, that's going to set up one heck of a championship game next Sunday.
Let's come back and watch it, shall we?
Something tells me you and I are going to be there. Tucker with the extra point, and the lead is now 24. A drive there of just 4 plays.
And it's capped off by an A.J. Brown touchdown.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown.
And a touchback here as Walker will sit on this one. Houston's offense taking over again.
And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
On 1st and 10, it's Wilson.
He'll get this to Devin Singletary out of the backfield.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down.
We often talk about understanding the playbook, understanding progressions, and understanding what the defense is doing. We saw all of that on that play. Great recognition and understood where his running back was going to be. Found a way to have him leak out underneath, hit him with the football, and they picked up the first down.
1 quarter remains for the right to advance to the AFC title game. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire.
Pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down.
Chase Young
able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon.
Remember, throughout my career here in defensive coaches always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. But they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is pin your ears back time indeed. It's caught by Mike Evans. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. It's a 15-yard pickup, but it'll lead to a 4th down.
Boy, they had a lot of real estate to make up there, but what a big-time play for them. Nice completion, excellent gain. Now they're in 4th and manageable.
Just a little short, though, with that marker.
All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted.
Picked off, Byron Jones. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Bronco defense has a touchdown.
Well, this one was already ugly, and now it's just kind of becoming a feast on the defensive side of the football.
Yeah, partner, this is a unit that knows they've got this game in the bag with this huge lead, and it's going to drive their coaches crazy because they're telling them, play it straight, do all the right things, but these guys are going to be freewheeling now. All of them are going to take chances, and that one pays off with an INT and a return for 6.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away.
And a touchback here as Walker will sit on this one.
And now out comes Houston. They're home.
Of advancing past this divisional round, hanging by a thread, if that, as they begin here with a 1st and 10 on the wrong side of the scoreboard. Back to the air, Wilson after the pick 6. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And they've got it just 2 yards away from the end zone. They'll have it 1st and goal here from the 2-yard line.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. Following the fumble recovery, Lance looking end zone, but it's incomplete. A CD, they're up big, but they're still passing it. I mean, this is an offense that's had a lot of success in this game, and it seems like they're just having fun out there.
And it does feel like there's been a shift out there, doesn't it, partner? Listen, if you're up, you can continue to do what you want to do. It's up to the other team to make you change how you do things.
And he will take it in for a Bronco touchdown. Melvin Gordon taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Broncos are drawing closer to a date in the AFC title game as they extend this fourth quarter lead. Tucker with the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And a touchback here as Walker will sit on this one. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL.
Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. Second time in this game, Charles, the ball has squirted out from his hands. Luckily, his teammate was there to pounce on it.
You're right. Got the lucky bounce, able to retain possession. You know, we often talk about the combine and why do we measure quarterbacks' hands. Is that really a big deal? It's for situations like this. Do you have the hands big enough and strong enough to hold on to the football while being jostled?
They'll give him 4 yards there. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And he'll just party now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Here comes Grant on the return. A good return there, 17 yards. And it'll be a short field for the Broncos as they take over 1st and 10. Wide receiver A.J. Brown, you see he and the rest of his mates returning to the field here. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this? But it's usually...
And that is caught. Touchdown, Denver. Nelson Aguilar, 43 yards. And the Broncos continue to run up the score. They lead it big here in the 4th. Well, when coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back to the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we have been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
And a touchback here as Walker will sit on this one. Houston set to take over. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
The Texans. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Bronco defense has a touchdown. Tucker now for the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. And a touchback.
As Walker will sit on this one. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And you can sort of sense their dejection. That last pick six put the icing on the cake, so to speak, in what has been a rough go for them. Wilson getting right back to it after the pick six.
Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete.
Yeah, this will leave them a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
And a really nice play call there to start the drive, especially if you're a team that has a little bit of a reputation for throwing it downfield. You come out and you think maybe you can catch them off guard a little bit, and they did. Little screen pass, backdoored them, and that time worked well for a solid gain.
And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. And this offense on third down today, a pretty anemic, a very anemic, 1 for 9 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. And this one incomplete. And another throw that really could have been, maybe should have been intercepted. That would have been number 4. Instead, it's 4th down.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away.
Taking it about the 16. An 8-yard return there after a punt of 47. And we have reached the 2-minute warning. Nelson Aguilar and company getting set to go again on offense now. They might want to mix something up defensively because he's been shredding them a bit, hasn't he?
That he has, and even with all the changes that you know are going on the defensive side of the ball, he's still finding ways to get open, finding the right spots, and the delivery's been pretty good too.
He's over 100 yards, has the 1 touchdown, and he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Cameron Curl, and the Texans are going to take possession of the football. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. After the interception, here's Wilson. He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. Leonard Williams able to run him down for a loss of 12 that time. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. Now Wilson. He finds his target. It's Evans. Touchdown, Houston. Mike Evans, 42 yards. And the Texans are finally into the end zone here in this 4th quarter. Extra point up and good by Sanders as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And here's Jakeem Grant from his end zone. And they'll get him down right around the 25, actually the 26 officially, so a net gain of 1 there. Yeah, this is going to put him back with a not great field position.
So they really got zero benefit at all, right? Sometimes you can absorb a penalty when you get a big return, then the penalty brings it back, but you still have great field position. As you pointed out, not in this case.
Let's set a tone, fellas. Let's set a tone. What's twist?
That one looks like he'll throw here. They'll roll him out right. And this is caught. It's Brown. Finding room at midfield. A big change in field position there. That's 40 yards on the catch and run.
In a spot where most offenses would just be trying to get to the finish line and close this game out, they're still looking for points here in the final minute of this game. I think bonuses could be gained.
Lance has it knocked free. The ball is loose. But it looked like, fortunately, the Broncos able to recover. So they keep the ball, but work to do on 2nd and long.
Hey, check back 16. Check back 16. 65.
From the gun, it's Lance. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Bird. And he's going to be marked down just inside the 35. Again, they'll throw it with Lance.
And it's incomplete. They're still throwing to the very end, but now this game is over. And they're moving on to the conference championship. How about this?
What a tremendous feeling to get to the game that can get you to the Super Bowl. A fantastic season. Unfortunately, for the other team, a tough, tough way for it to end.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Broncos are winners as we say so long from Denver.
Come alive in the dark, and I keep getting stronger. My limit's the sky. I do the impossible, impossible. Shine if I want to. I win every time if I want to. The world mine if I want to. Make the world mine cause I want to. I'll pull the sword out the border, walk a floor full of cobras. Go to war with you all, we can brawl toe to toe. I can tighten loops in my lace and make lightning lose. In a race I make fire cool, like a man from the triangle in Bermuda. I can suit it, live in the moon, working and outsmarting computers. I can outswim all the tuna, and that's without a scuba. So in the laws of nature I'm breaking the rules. Only thing I'm bad at is being a loser. I can make time traveling a surprise. Make y'all feel alive. Break the immortal down to his demise. Look up and beam to the stars so you can turn off the lights. I come alive in the dark, and I keep getting stronger. Tonight I hunt with the pride. You can't take my pride away. I can sing with the birds and the trees in the morning, or roll like the storms way over the ocean. My limit's the sky. I do the impossible, impossible. Shine if I want to. I win every time if I want to. The world mine if I want to. Make the world mine cause I want to. Even on the days when I'm late as ever, my timing is right. Even in the darkest moments, stay close, I'm that shine in the light. I can make an earthquake nervous, I can make the sun wear a visor.